Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Recha Kodash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to the elect. And today we're going to go into the book of 2 Chronicles, the 16th chapter, continuing with the reign of Asa, as we saw in the previous chapters, as he proved himself to follow the Lord in seeking out the Lord. And the Lord rewarded him, right, as a result of that, and confirmed his hand via the sayings of the seers and the prophets. But here, right, in the 16th chapter, we start to see that though an individual may start in one direction, the Lord is seeking those that are going to be, as King David was, whose heart was after the Lord continually, right, in good and evil, not turning to the left or to the right hand. So this is 2 Chronicles chapter 16, verse 1. In the 6th and 30th year of the reign of Asa, Baasha, king of Israel, came up against Judah and built Ramah, to the intent that he might let none go out or come in to Asa, king of Judah. So basically, as we can see here, at this point, you had Baasha, which, if I'm not mistaken, I believe he was an Issacharite, who had usurped the throne in the northern kingdom. Let's see. Yeah. So come up here, Baasha. Here we go. And Baasha, the son of Ahijah of the house of Issachar, conspired against him. Yep. So in any case, at this point, Baasha comes up against Asa, and he starts to, as it says, build Ramah. So he fortifies it. And if we look here, Ramah, Bible map. Okay, trying to see if I get a bigger view of it. Okay, this is a little better. So you can see you have Jerusalem over here, you have Judea over here, and you have Ramah, which is right here. So this is between, the territory of the northern and the southern, and he's fortifying this. So as it says, to the intent. So his intention was that he might let none go out or come in to Asa, king of Judah. So basically be like a block here. So you can't come through to get down here, or you can't go up to, in this case, he wanted to sort of box in Asa. Then Asa brought out silver and gold out of the treasures of the house of the Lord Yahweh and of the king's house, and sent to Ben-Hadad, king of Syria, that dwelt at Damascus, saying, There is a league between me and thee, as there was between my father and thy father. Behold, I have sent thee silver and gold. Go, break thy league with Baasha, king of Israel, that he may depart from me. And Ben-Hadad hearkened unto King Asa, and sent the captains of his armies against the cities of Israel. And they smote Ijon and Dan and Abel-Maim, and all the store cities of Naphtali. So he went and sought out a league to renew it with the Syrians, seeking them to basically help him against Baasha over here. And they did, right? They were like, okay, yeah, cool. So then when they went there, and they ended up, deterring Baasha's devices here by, attacking some cities in Israel. And it came to pass, when Baasha heard it, that he left off building of Ramah and let his work cease. So he had higher priorities to take care of. Then Asa the king took all Judah, and they carried away the stones of Ramah and the timber thereof, wherewith Baasha was building. And he built therewith Gibeah and Mizpah. So it doesn't specify exactly those places on here, but they were probably nearby. So instead, he decided to fortify some of the neighboring cities with the resources that Baasha was using to try and fortify Ramah. And at that time, Hanani, the seer, came to Asa, king of Judah, and said unto him, Because thou hast relied on the king of Syria, and not relied on the Lord Yahweh thy God, therefore is the host of the king of Syria escaped out of thine hand. Were not the Ethiopians and the Lubims a huge host, with very many chariots and horsemen? Yet, because thou didst rely on the Lord Yahweh, he delivered them into thine hand. For the eyes of the Lord run to and fro throughout the whole earth, to shew himself strong in the behalf of them whose heart is perfect toward him. Herein thou hast done foolishly. Therefore, from henceforth, thou shalt have wars. So Hananiah comes to let him know, like, yo, you just made a bad move, man. You know, what happened when the Ethiopians came? Didn't you call on the Lord and then he deliver you? So why is it that when Baasha came, you went and instead sought help from the Syrians, you know, rather than the Heavenly Father? And in that case, you could have had the Syrians under your control at some point. And as he says, right, the Lord's eyes are going throughout the whole earth. Okay, and that's why he has these angels roaming through, both left hand and right hand. All right, and they're both making things happen and also recording things and bringing information back, reporting back to the Lord. But as it says, his heart is perfect. He's strong on the behalf of them whose heart is perfect towards him. So that doesn't mean those that are 100% righteous, but it means those, when it says toward, means those whose mind, regardless of what state they're in, is always to the Lord. Their priority is always to the Lord. They're always seeking the Lord. He is the number one refuge. Those are the ones who he proves or he shows himself strong on their behalf. But because of this wrong decision that Asa made, now that peace the Lord granted him is over. Then Asa was wroth with the seer and put him in a prison house, for he was in a rage with him because of this thing. So you can imagine now, common human nature is sometimes you get upset when you hear news and you get so upset both at yourself and the situation that you find yourself in, but you need to let it out on somebody. So the closest thing to what's upsetting you is a guy or whoever is giving you the news, and you're like, nah, no, you ain't trying to hear that, and boom, because it's not like the seer did anything wrong. He was just doing his job. But as you can see, he was in a rage, and Asa oppressed some of them or some of the people at the same time. And it's sort of similar to when you have an idea or a plan and you're telling somebody about it, or something you want, and they're giving you a realistic outlook, which is not one you want to see. You'd rather hear about the good things about it, but they start pointing out ways where maybe it's not a good idea, or maybe it might not work, or maybe you should wait a little longer. You start getting mad. Even though they're bringing up valid points, you get mad because you're like, yo, this is something I really want and I'm really excited about. And you know what you're saying may be true, but it sounds like you're trying to deter me, and I'm not trying to hear that. And behold, the acts of Asa, first and last, lo, they are written in the book of the kings of Judah and Israel. And Asa in the 39th year. Oh, Salak, I think I missed a few here. Let's go back up. Verse 10. Then Asa was wroth with the seer and put him in a prison house, for he was in a rage with him because of this thing. And Asa oppressed some of the people at the same time. And behold, the acts of Asa, first and last, lo, they are written in the book of the kings of Judah and Israel. And Asa in the 39th year of his reign was diseased in his feet, until his disease was exceeding great. And he probably might have had what they call the king's disease. Today it's called gout. Let's look up here. King's disease. Dis-ease. Yeah, so King's disease is a historical term that refers to gout, a form of inflammatory arthritis. And why was it called that? Well, in the past, gout was often associated with wealthy and royal individuals who indulged in rich diets and excessive alcohol consumption. This led to the belief that gout was a disease of kings. So you can read more about it if you're interested, but there's a little bit of spaghetti for your plate. Anyway, so as this got worse, right, yet in his disease he sought not to the Lord Yahweh, but to the physicians, right, and not realizing that the success of the physician comes from the Lord. And Asa slept with his fathers and died in the 140th year of his reign. And they buried him in his own sepulchres, which he had made for himself in the city of David, and laid him in a bed which was filled with sweet odors and divers kinds of spices prepared by the apothecary's art. And they made a very great burning for him. And that was the end of Asa. And let's see. Okay, so here in the NLT it says, he was buried in the tomb where he had carved out for himself in the city of David. He was laid on a bed perfumed with sweet spices and fragrant ointments, and the people built a huge funeral fire in his honor. Because, there are some places where they actually, when they die, they put them on, they put them on like a raft or something like that, and they actually burn it, like the actual individual. But obviously we know here, it's already said that he was buried in the sepulchres over there. But yeah, that's the end of Asa, king of Judah, the good things he did, and the bad things he did in his latter end. And so that's going to be the end of 2 Chronicles, the 16th chapter. Lord willing, it was edifying to the elect. In closing, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Recha Kodesh. Until next time, Shalom.